you might want to definitely keep an eye out on your emergency brake cables. These are starting to wear. I was a little concerned about that. I'm going to wrap that up a little bit just to double protect it, but I was kind of curious because this Jeep's about 2 years old. What Bobby's Jeep was doing, it's a 2016 Jeep Wrangler, about a year older. It's doing the exact same thing. Good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of Bubba's Garage. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for all your feedback in our previous episodes about modifications to the 2017 Jeep Wrangler Winter Edition.
Oh, absolutely.
Mike, thanks so much for posting all those pictures out on our Facebook page. Great conversations out there. And honestly, that information helped us. Also, we got feedback on some of the camper stuff, which we'll talk more about that a little bit later.
Right.
But we decided to go with an AEV 2.5-inch XT Sport. Did I say that right? I think it's an AEV DualSport XT 2.5-inch suspension system for the 2017 Jeep Wrangler Winter Edition. And today we're going to install all of that. First up, we're going to start with the rear portion of the suspension system. Looks like the kit comes with a replacement track bar. We have some new track bar brackets that we have to install, and then we're going to move around and we're going to take care of our front. So definitely stay tuned. We'll talk more about the front when we get to that. But right now, we're going to start on the rear. We don't have a lot of room. It's going to get cramped right here in Bubba's Garage today, but it is what it is. We just don't have a shop. This is Bubba's Garage. It's not Bubba's shop. So we're going to get started on that. Again, hope you guys are having a fabulous day, and thanks so much for all your feedback. Hopefully this is going to pan out. Well, honestly, we've never really done like a premium lift kit installation.
No.
It's mostly been like little budget boost, $200, $300 lift kits. And those, we had challenges with those, but there weren't very many parts. This has got a lot more parts to it.
Yeah.
But I think we can handle it.
I think we can handle it.
I think we can handle it. And trust me, if we can do it, I promise you, you can too.
Right?
Yep. So let's get started. All right, the first step in this installation is loosening up all of our track bar bolts. There's about 8 of those, and honestly, the right tools would be greatly beneficial at this point in time. And some of this is a little bit harder to get to, so we had to actually remove our bump stop, but it worked out nonetheless. So now we're going to move on to removing our rear track bar completely. We're going to remove that completely out of there, sway bar, in link, and disconnect our brake lines.
Let's do it.
I think it's about it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, we're getting progress. Looks like that went really well. Again, I wish I had better tools, but that's okay.
Right.
It is what it is. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop our axle. We're going to remove both of the springs, and then I think we're going to install the track bar tower.
Track bar tower, the new track bar, and we're going to install the new springs.
Yeah, she's got this lined out. She's actually reading the instructions, and I'm following instructions. That's how we roll right here on Bubba's Garage.
Right.
So that's what we're going to move on to. Honestly, guys, it's been about an hour so far. and that includes getting footage and things like that. So it's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Not
Hopefully the rest of this goes really well. We're about 50% into getting this rear end taken care of. Alright guys, we got our springs out. Now we're going to set up our track bar bracket. This is a track bar tower. But before we do that, I just wanted to point out something real quick.
Yes.
You might want to definitely keep an eye out on your emergency brake cables. These are starting to wear. I was a little concerned about that. I'm going to wrap that up a little bit just to double protect it. But I was kind of curious because this Jeep's about 2 years old. What Bobby's Jeep was doing. It's a 2016 Jeep Wrangler, so it's about a year older. It's doing the exact same thing. So, you know, I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but I was a little concerned about it. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to tape it up just to help. I know at some point in life, probably going to have to replace those emergency brake cables.
Probably.
But it's probably a good thing that I did the suspension thing, because I probably would have never known. And yeah, now we'll keep tabs on Bobby's Jeep too. So up next, right here, we're going to go ahead and get our track bar tower installed on that rear axle. And then we're going to move on to putting the bump stops in and, well, the rest of it, which is going to be springs. And then we're going to do the, then we're going to do the shocks. So we're getting there. All right, let's go. All right, we got the track bar installed as well as the track bar tower and the springs. Honestly though, the spring compressor, we already had a spring compressor and it really came in handy at this point.
Yes.
We don't have a lift. I wish we did. And honestly, if we had a way to get the Jeep up higher and the axle down lower, we probably wouldn't have needed the spring compressor. But honestly,
probably not.
It made the job a lot easier to do. So now we're going to move on. We're actually going to install our shocks, get a couple of things tied up, and then bolt up a few things. You know what? I want to show you something. This here is the drop bracket for the brake line. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet, so definitely stay tuned, but it looks like you have to move this. You know, you're going to have to bend it up a little bit. So I'm not really happy with that. You know, honestly, we'll wait. We'll see. We'll get a little bit further along with this project, and then we'll see what's up. But honestly, I think brake line extension cables might be in the future.
Very near future.
Very, very, very near future. But we'll see. Right now, let's go ahead and get those shocks installed. All right, guys, it is about dark 30, so I'm going to wrap up this project really quick. We did finish the rear. It is completely done. Yes. Got all of the bolts torqued up and matching the specifications. Now, they give you some torque specs in the documentation, but not all of them.
Not all of them. They don't give you torque specs for the control arm.
Yep. So you're going to have to look those up. I believe it was about 125.
All of my research said about 125.
Yeah. So if we got that wrong, definitely leave us some comments and let us know if that is incorrect. Now, one other thing I will tell you, we talked about the little brake bracket, the extension bracket. At this point in time, I did not install that. I'm going to hang tight on that bracket.
I think I'd feel better just going ahead and replacing the whole line rather than trying to make that bracket work.
And right now there's a little bit of wiggle room. Just don't hit any potholes. You're probably going to be okay. But right now, we're going to take this. We're going to set it aside. I'm going to bring TJ back into the garage, and we're going to move around to the front of the Winter Edition in the next episode right here on Bubba's Garage. So hopefully you guys stick around to find out how this works out. And one of the things that we're going to do is once we get all this completely done, we're going to do a full-fledged review, tell you what we think and well, about the installation, as well as how good the ride is, etc., etc. Now Bobby did take some measurements of the rear wheel well. It was 30, just shy of 36. So it was like 35 something. And then right now, as it sits, it's about 39. But you got to keep in mind that it's not complete. It is just the rear only. So definitely stick around to this next episode. Well, then we'll have a better idea of exactly how this is going to turn out. So again, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you like this video, do me a favor, give us a huge, huge, huge thumbs up. And if you really like this video and want to stick around to find out what happens next right here on Bubba's Garage, please subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.
Good night.